OK, well, I mentioned Andrew Tate in the trailer there. You may never have heard his name, but he is now a disgraced influencer whose Twitter spat with climate activist Greta Thunberg ultimately led to his arrest in Romania last month. This was over allegations of rape, human trafficking and organised crime. Now, in his videos, which have amassed over 13 billion views on TikTok, he describes hitting and choking women, trashing their belongings, stopping them from leaving the house, and describes them as, his words, his property. So we've compiled a selection of just some of the more tame comments, but please be warned that some people may find these highly offensive. I mean...
Shocking.
I mean, the gasps from our audience were audible to us up here. It's almost like if somebody said, actually, it was a comedy show, it was a joke, or you can't believe that somebody is actually saying those things. The danger is, Janet, as I said, there are a lot of young boys, young men, boys as young as 7, being influenced by this man. And not just this man, there are now other influencers who kind of follow his creed, who are also putting out this kind of misogynistic content.
There's millions of posts and tweets, and the interaction is huge, and it's something that we wouldn't know about because it's boys doing it on their phones, boys in their bedrooms, their parents have now... All the anxiety up to now has been about sexting and pornography, but this is so much worse. And I found out about it because a friend of mine is a trainee teacher in a school in East Anglia, and she just started in a comprehensive, and a boy in her class said, "I'm not going to be taught by a woman."
Whoa.
And the school have told her, well, the policy is if a boy says that, he has to be removed from the class, and that we have to contain it. But he's just being the brave one who's spoken this rubbish. Loads of boys in the class will be agreeing with him but be too frightened to say anything. So it's something that schools and parents are going to have to deal with. Just because Andrew Tate, at the moment, is remanded in custody awaiting, trial and possible charges and possible trial, doesn't mean it's going to go away because there are other people taking his place. And it's been going on for several years. I mean, he was originally a contestant in Big Brother a few years ago before he was chucked out. But the whole philosophy is that women are second-rate, women are second-best, and it's allied to boys, particularly young teenage boys, not feeling they have a purpose in life, not feeling they have a role, don't have any ambition, nobody cares about them, that women are... all the attention is on women and women are achieving. And it is true that academically girls are doing slightly better than boys at the moment. So schools are going to have to deal with it, and it's not something they can ignore.
No, well, we were saying, we said he's in jail at the moment, but there are
God,
other...
I hope he rots in there.
I'm not going to name them, but there are other British influencers, and I was just reading some of the things that they're putting out. This one, an insecure girlfriend is a well-behaved one. Never allow her to become too comfortable. When a woman becomes too comfortable in a relationship, everything suffers. Her weight, her attitude, her sex drive, her cooperation. Women who are just a little insecure, meaning they understand very clearly that they can and will be replaced if their man decides to, are much better behaved. And that's just one of many. But, Gloria, is school the place, do you think it is up to schools?
I wanted to pick up on this, because I don't know a lot about Andrew Tate, except I saw it on the news that he'd been arrested or had been brought in charge. And I was shocked to find out that he has billions of these young boys, young men, following him. And at my age, I don't know how you would actually deal with that, because it's one of the perils of social media. And I worry... Again, at my point, I don't do a lot of social media, but I hear what goes on. And I really worry about that. But I think Janet is right, or your friend is right, because even going back to my day at school, you would never talk to your parents about sex. You just wouldn't, No. But our headmaster and headmistress, they were really, really ahead of the game, because they did the teaching about sex and about how you should treat women and so on and so forth, or boys, whatever the case is. But they had a box, and you could put any question you wanted into that box anonymously. Now, of course, some of the questions were way out, etc. But that's where we learned, and I thought that was a really good idea. And a lot of schools, not all of them, have got debating societies. What a topic this would be. To debate at the school, get it out there in the open.
The problem is just removing a boy from class isn't dealing with it because it makes him a hero in the eyes of the other boys that he's been punished. So schools are going to have classes where both teachers and pupils confront it.
But weren't they saying that if they do identify a young male boy with these kind of views, if they remove them from the other boys, as you said, they take away that kind of hero image, and when they discuss it, they mention, how would you feel if that was your grandmother he was talking about? How would you feel if that was his mother you were talking about? How would you feel if he was talking about raping your sister? And it makes them... It makes it
personalises
it.
It personalises
But I've got a son and 2 daughters, and my son's been brought up to regard all women to be treated exactly the same as their sisters. Like, my mum was a role model to him, I'm a role model to him, and his sisters are a role model to him, and everyone should be treated exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah. I do have to say these are accusations at the moment against Andrew Tate. He says it's very unfortunate that old videos of me where I was playing a comedic character have been taken out of context. I am genuinely innocent.
How
We'll
pathetic
see.
is that?
We'll
I know,
see.
yeah.
Well, you know, he's got to have his right to reply because they're allegations at the moment. But if you hadn't heard of Andrew Tate, I hope we've explained a little bit about who he is and what he stands for.